I was born in Old Harbour Bay in Jamaica, a small fishing village. My father was a fisherman. My mother was a fish vendor. My father was top of his class. My mother was top of her class. They got no further than grade school. They ensured by hard work that all of their children, all 14 of us, would have the opportunity, should they choose, to labor with their minds and not necessarily with their muscle. I owe a debt of gratitude to public education. I'm a distinguished professor at the University of Puget Sound. How did I get here? Public education. A public school teacher reached out to me one day and said, "You have something." And that was my first awareness, my first consciousness of myself, that I had a talent, I had abilities worth developing. All across Tacoma, there are children, there are young people, there are students across this district with the same potential. They have in them the same innate ability. All they need is a teacher who is allowed to be creatively involved in their lives. All they need are building leaders, principals, who are enabled to do the work of education. We have a citizenry, people who are interested in the education of their children. We have people here who, from the time I arrived here, I saw them struggling, working, making every effort to improve education. So we have the children with the potential. We have the teachers with the skills and the training. We have the community with the commitment. Why then are our schools failing? Why, at $331 million per year, we have sometimes upwards of 50% of our students of color dropping out? Why? Across the nation, the call is going out. We have a crisis. Thelma Jackson is here. I don't know if Dolores Salas is here. I know Willis Stewart is here. They have labored long and hard. And when I came here, I heard Thelma Jackson declaring that we have an emergency in our education system. Well, now the nation knows. The College Board last year called upon the government, called upon all funding agencies, called upon all civic groups, called upon everyone in education to meet and organize national summits, because we have a crisis. We are creating a nation of mediocrity. We in Tacoma live in a city where people amongst us are voting with their feet. They're choosing to send their children to schools in Federal Way. Why? One of the reasons is Federal Way has found a way to open access to high performance programs to all of its students. Why not Tacoma?
Yeah.
We have families who live here who are willing to undergo double taxation to send their children to school. What do I mean? They pay taxes for public education, and then they pay to send their children to private school. It is a scandal. I spoke to the sitting school board member, the one whose position I will take. He will not run anymore. And he told me, when he told me the story, I asked him instantly, can I use this story? He said, yes, and I will even stand beside you to endorse it. What did he say? He said the situation is so bad. And this situation is a situation of $24 million shortfall in this year's budget, made up by $8 million of stimulus funds and $10 million from the $32 million reserves that we have, but a projection that next year we will have a shortfall of $16 to $17 million. And the following year, we will have another shortfall of $16 to $17 million. All of that within the context of declining enrollment. One of the arguments that people give for walking away from our school district is they believe our school districts and our schools are not safe. They believe that our schools are perpetual underperforming schools. Back to this school board member. He said next year his daughter is due to enter middle school and she's likely to go to one of our better performing schools. But he will not send his daughter to Tacoma Public Schools. He will instead pay the $8,000 to $10,000 per year to send her to private school in Gig Harbor. We have some difficult days ahead. How do we confront these difficult days? I've been asked almost since I arrived here from this man, by this man standing beside me, can we depend on you to come help us in the Tacoma School District? We've had this conversation for at least 7 years, a sustained conversation. And when I told him last year that I would consider this, and then this year that I would seriously consider it, I said to him, and I want to say to you, I'm running for this position on the Tacoma School Board because I believe I have the training, the experience, the expertise, the commitment, the passion, the courage, and the willingness to do this work. I'm running for those reasons, but I cannot achieve the change we need by myself. So this has truly got to be a shared mission. I'm inviting Tacoma. Tacoma, this is our moment. We do not have the luxury anymore to have 50% of our students not only drop out, they're often forced out. They often feel they don't have a place. And those of us who know these statistics know that if and when they leave school without being successful, they are in the pipeline to prison. All of us know it. We do not have the luxury to send any more people to prison. Prison is not an appropriate social institution in which to raise our children. Schools are. We can create good schools, and I'm going to invite you to partner with me. I have stepped up to do this. Many people have asked me, are you out of your mind? The last person I spoke with today, asking for his endorsement, said to me, I'm so glad you're running, but I want you to know that for such a long time, the Tacoma School District has been a losing proposition. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to turn it around. we need? We need leadership. We need leadership. We need leadership from the school board. We need to establish on the school board that it and not the superintendent, the school board and no one else, has the constitutional responsibility for the education of the children in the school district. And the first thing I will do, if you give the money that we need, $30,000, the first thing I will do, if you volunteer and help us reach at least 24,000 voting Tacomans to get us past the primary, the first thing I will do, if you help us by calling your friends and your neighbors, the first thing I will do, if you help us by organizing fundraising efforts in your homes, the first thing I will do, if you promise me that you will be part of this volunteer team that gets us to election victory as one step in our broader program of educational transformation in Tacoma. The first thing I will do is caucus with my fellow board members and talk about our constitutional responsibility to provide leadership that's worthy of this quality city we are seeking to build. If we are to build a world-class city, and since I've been here, I've been very proud of the developments that I've seen in Tacoma. If we are to build a world-class cosmopolitan city, we've got to have a world-class cosmopolitan public education system. I ask for your vote as your candidate for school board for position 3. I ask for your vote. I want to suggest to you that if you join this team, we want to win, and win in such a way that, in the words of Willis Stewart, you will indicate to the entire community and to the powers that be in the education system in Tacoma that you have community support. I ask for your support. Make it big. Thank you.